Most outdoors people have never seen a hellbender. What are we looking for today?
This week on Kentucky Afield, we're getting our feet wet and joining biologists for a historic release of one of the state's most interesting animals. Next.
Yeah, push it down.
It's youth deer season, and while we're in the blind hunting with Chad's son Leo, we're looking back to his daughter's first hunting experience, which took place on this very weekend. Then,
What kind of fish you got there, Lee?
Smallmouth.
it's not just hunting season. Fall fishing is in full swing, and it's a great time for a float trip.
Fun little smallmouth there. Fat. Look at that belly.
It's all next on Kentucky Afield.
Such a pretty fish.
Beautiful.
This pond is plumb floated with frogs.
They're everywhere in here. Yeah, this is a good fish right here. Really good fish.
Come here, girl.
Hey, boy. That's a big rabbit.
Nice job. Yes! Yes! My first muskie. Mercy, Leo!
Yeah, look at it. It's a keeper.
Here it goes. Boom!
Wow, that happened fast.
Hello, and welcome to Kentucky Afield. I'm your host, Chad Miles. Join us as we journey the Commonwealth in search of outdoor adventure. The hellbender is one of Kentucky's most unique species, but over the past few decades, their numbers have been on the decline. But with the help of Kentucky Wild and the Department of Fish and Wildlife, we're hoping to change that. Today, we're here in Rowland County. I'm here with Zack Couch, and today is a super special day. Tell us what we're doing today.
Today we're going to go out and do a release. It's actually the first time in Kentucky's history that we are releasing hellbenders back into the wild.
Most outdoors people have never seen a hellbender. What are we looking for today?
Hellbender is actually our largest species of salamander we have in the state. They can be over 2 feet long. They live in fairly decent sized streams and rivers. They have to have these really big boulders that they live under, so that's why most people haven't seen them. They're actually hidden in plain sight underneath of some of these large boulders in a creek. So we've spent the last 4 years going out surveying different streams in Kentucky, trying to see which streams actually still have populations of hellbenders, and what we've determined is our population in Kentucky is really declining for a lot of different reasons. So as a result of that, we've started going into the streams where we know that we can find these egg masses. In the wild, the eggs maybe have 1% chance of survival, but in a lab, we can get 60, 65% survival. So we've worked with Purdue University. We pull the egg masses out of the stream. They raise the hellbenders for 3 or 4 years, and then we get to go back and actually restock some of these streams now that are declining. So we had a clutch of about 500 eggs from 4 years ago. We're keeping 25 of those as sort of our year one reintroduction program. In years moving forward, we'll have more and more that we'll release. The rest of those animals will actually go to Indiana, and they're doing the same project up there, but the problem is they haven't found any egg masses in Indiana. So they're using some of our Kentucky animals to repopulate some streams in Indiana at the same time as we're doing the work here.
So that's one reason why a university in Indiana is very interested in this project and working with us, because they're literally rearing these things and then bringing them back and then also seeding some of them in their state as well. So both states are actually going to be benefiting.
That's right. You know, the thing when you're looking at wildlife conservation is, you know, we're focused obviously on Kentucky, but these species are often in multiple states. And if the species is declining throughout its entire range, we should do what we can, not just to better the population in Kentucky, but throughout the range of the species, so that we have multiple sites to diversify where we can find this animal at, to hopefully keep it off of the endangered species list, which is our ultimate goal here.
They're not here yet. They're on their way from Purdue. We're going to be getting 25, right?
That's right.
What are we going to be looking at size-wise?
They're probably going to be somewhere in the range of 6 to maybe 10 inches long,
Okay.
something like that.
So by the time they're that size, most fish species, unless it's a muskie, probably don't have a whole lot of worries there, do they?
Right, it's not going to be so much fish. River otters are going to take a few of them. The main reason that they're declining is actually we have to find good habitat not only for adults but also for those larvae.
Okay.
And the larvae really need those clean gravel streams to be able to get up in the little areas in the gravel, and that's where they hide out at until they grow to adulthood.
So Zach, we're saying this is a release, and it is a release, but it's kind of a controlled release.
It is. What we've done is we've built these soft enclosures that we'll actually be able to put the animals in, and it'll hopefully contain them on site for a few days. And the whole idea there is, these animals have been in a lab all their life. We're putting them out here in the wild. We don't want them to start moving around too much on day one and not being able to really figure out what they're doing, and then be easy prey for any predators that move through. So what Purdue has found in some of the work they've done in Indiana is you put them in these soft-sided enclosures in the stream for a couple days. The hellbenders start to kind of figure out their environment, figure out their surroundings, and then we'll come back in 3 or 4 days, remove that soft enclosure, and then they can slowly distribute throughout the stream where they need to go. So once we get the animals here on site, we've got some coolers. We'll put them in with some water to make sure that we don't stress them out any more than we have to.
There's 5 in here.
Yep.
They even brought red and blue buckets. I thought they'd be black and gold buckets.
Pretty impressive.
Right now we are headed down to the creek, and then we'll slowly get the hellbenders moved down, and we'll bring them out into the stream. We've already got our soft enclosures set up in a good spot, good looking habitat. We'll have you and whoever else we have here today as volunteers helping us take the hellbenders out of the coolers and slide them into the soft enclosure, and just from there, it's a hands-off process of letting them settle into their new environment. We will come back here every year and monitor the site. All the animals that we'll be receiving today have a pit tag in them. It's the same thing as people have in their pets sometimes.
Okay.
For the lost pet, we have those already embedded into the hellbender, so we can go out and actually see which hellbender we catch in the wild, pull it out, and be able to use a wand on it to see, okay, this is an animal that we released in 2022 that was actually brood stock from 2017.
These could be producing offspring for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yep, that's the plan, is to be able to recover this population to where in, let's say, 10 years from now, we have the population back throughout its historic distribution in the state. They're reproducing on their own, and we can move on to conserve another species that is declining. We don't want to do this work forever. We just want to be able to kind of head start this population. This is considered triage. This is just enough to keep the population going until we address some of the upstream issues with sedimentation into the stream.
Hey, this is really cool work. I've done some cool projects. You really get to do some fun things. But a hellbender is such a unique animal. I have spent countless hours flipping rocks in streams, and I have never seen one in the wild. I've
really
seen them
rare.
in aquariums, and I've seen them locations like that. But so today, to get out here and physically get your hands on one and turn one loose into the wild, what a treat.
This is a big day. Anytime we can take animals from the lab and release them back into the stream to recover a population, that's a big win for us. This is something that we couldn't have done without the membership with our Kentucky Wild program, who have actually provided financial support to go out and put our artificial nest boxes out and to do some of the work that we're doing here today.
This is a special day here in Kentucky, not only for conservationists and members of Kentucky Wild, but also our biologists. So great work.
Thank you.
This weekend, October 8th and 9th, is the youth deer season here in Kentucky. Hopefully, many families are out there making new memories. My daughter should be home from school any minute. I'm going to step inside and surprise her today with her very first deer hunt. So Campbell, for the last couple of years, you've been asking me about wanting to deer hunt. Sit up here. I want to talk to you for a second. You've been wanting to deer hunt for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And every single year when you've wanted to go deer hunting, you've had a volleyball tournament. Well, this year, because of coronavirus, you don't have a volleyball tournament. You don't have a
You're
volleyball.
gonna be out of town.
But I'm out of town. So I feel really bad because I know you've been wanting to deer hunt, and unfortunately, I can't take you. And I really want to be there for your first hunt, but I don't want to hold you back either. So what if I told you I got you something? What if I told you I got you this? You know what that is? That is your license, and it's your deer tags. And I got you a new hunting jacket.
This is pretty.
Yep. And some
Cool.
hunter's orange and a new shirt. And guess what?
I can.
Guess what?
What?
Miss Rachel, who you've been going and shooting with.
We're gonna squeeze as slow as possible, okay?
Miss Rachel is going to take you this Sunday, and you get to go on your very first deer hunt. Are you excited?
Yeah.
And I will be getting home right about the time you guys get out of the stand, so if you get a deer, I'll be able to come there and help you out.
Yeah.
Well, Rachel, I can tell you that Campbell is pretty excited to be going deer hunting with you.
Chad, that's awesome. I've known Campbell a long time, and I'm so grateful you asked me to mentor her for her first hunt, and I'm just as excited as she is to get out there. Campbell, are you excited? Today's the day.
Yeah.
And we're going on what? What are we doing today?
We're going on my first hunt.
First hunt, and what are we gonna try to harvest today?
A deer.
Yeah, deer.
Taking a kid on a hunt is not only a fun experience for the kid, it's also a great teaching opportunity.
Exactly. There's some deer scat.
Yeah.
Right there, actually. And the ground blind's right around the corner here. Sound good?
Yep.
You ready?
Yes.
Good.
Yep, and now you're just gonna rack your bolt up forward. Yeah, push it down. Yep, you keep that finger off the trigger. And we're on safe there, see? Yeah. Okay. All right, and we're overlooking a good food plot here, so we feel like we'll have some luck. Yeah. It's kind of hot and windy today, though. That's good weather. Yeah, so I believe the last shooting light is like 7:40, somewhere in there. We still have about 3 hours, I think. Okay. Until dark, and so we'll just sit tight and see if we can get a deer to come in soon. Yeah. How far is it to the other end of the field? I don't know. What do you think? What's your guess? I don't know. It looks pretty close. And the binoculars, though. It's not gonna pull it through here. You're gonna have to look through here, so if you look through that and press this button, it'll show you a yardage at the bottom, because the screen's blocking it for me. It says 371, but that's all the way down to that red tree. So obviously we're not gonna shoot that far, but I think the deer will be feeding on the food plot on this end, so I would think that we would get a close shot, like 100 or closer. Yeah. We got a good wind tonight. I feel confident. Milkweed's a good scent checker. You can really see what the wind's doing. Good try. Yeah. I see a deer out there, Campbell. There's a deer walking up right now. Oh gosh. You're okay, she's walking to us. I see her in here. You see her? Yeah. Okay. Do you want me to zoom in or anything? No, this is perfect. If you look at its head, it's a butt buck, Campbell. Can you tell? Oh, yeah. It's up to you, but I think maybe we can wait for a bigger doe. What do you think? Yeah, let's wait. Yeah. Okay. But what we want to do is shoot just like that deer is standing right now. You can look through your scope and practice. Keep her finger off the trigger. He might be quartering away a tiny bit, but he's pretty much broadside. Yeah. That's how we want to shoot a deer, okay? Okay. Hey, Campbell, there's a little squirrel. See him? Oh, I see him. Oh my gosh. Look at it. That's funny. Campbell, there's another deer. It's way at the very back of the field. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's a big doe. But she's still really far away. Might be 300 yards. She's far. Yeah. There's a squirrel with her. Yeah. She looks fat and happy out there. She's eating, but hopefully she'll eat this way towards us. It looks like a big doe. Look through your scope, see if you can find her. There's a butt buck. Here it comes. Go ahead and ease your safety off. It'll be in range once it's to the top of the hill. The butt bug's in the way, so we're just gonna wait for them to feed around in that food plot. This is kind of the key, is keeping your nerves at bay and having patience, okay? Okay. Just like we practice on the range. We're gonna take good shots. And when it's right, we're just gonna slowly squeeze the trigger and stop. It looks like just a couple more steps that way and you might have a shot right behind her shoulder, okay? Okay. She's turning. All right, you feel good? You on her still? Yep. All right, put it right in that pocket of her front shoulder. Just slowly squeeze the trigger like we practiced, okay? Okay. Good shot, Campbell.
Did I get it?
Yeah, you got her. Listen to her. Listen to her. Just wait and listen. You got her really good.
Well, Rachel, I was just getting back into town when I got a call from Campbell and told me she had just had shot. And man, she was excited.
She definitely was excited.
Hello.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, hon.
Hey, guess what?
What?
We got one.
You got one?
Yeah.
That is so exciting.
Yeah.
Well, Chad, as soon as Campbell shot, I was watching with my binoculars. I knew she made a great shot and that the blood trailing was probably going to be a pretty great learning experience for her. We started her right at the hit site. She was the first to find blood right away.
Here, I see blood.
We talked about where the deer went into the brush at, and she led us right to it.
There it is.
Way to go, girl. Good job. That's a big doe.
Well, Rachel, obviously it was an experience that I would have liked to have been there for. I'm so happy that you were able to take her. Tell me a little bit about what mentoring a hunt meant to you.
Well, I mean, it's really special. You know what your first deer's like. I think I was shaking more than Campbell was as soon as she shot. I couldn't get my nerves in order.
For year after year, Campbell's wanted to go. We haven't been able to put it together. And you stepped right in and you've made a lasting memory for her. So I can't thank you enough.
Well, it was a lasting memory for me too, Chad. And something that I think everybody would enjoy if they just take a kid or an adult out hunting.
Summer is starting to wind down, but that doesn't mean that the fall is not a beautiful time to jump in a kayak and do some fall fishing. Lee, we're here at the beautiful Green River.
We sure are.
I really love floating streams late in the summer. This is absolutely one of the most beautiful, relaxing ways to go catch fish.
It sure is. I love it.
On this particular Green River stretch, what is the range that you really want to float?
Really, anything 350 CFS or under is best. It's 54 CFS today. That's cubic feet per second. So the fish will be more concentrated in places that we're going to be able to find them. But my favorite level is 150 CFS. But this is completely good.
We're going to try to pick up the areas that we think are going to hold some fish, and we're going to be kind of targeting smallmouth and largemouth bass, but there's an opportunity to catch other species as well, using finesse gear for the most part.
Yes.
Well, that's enough about talking about fishing. Let's go fishing. What do you think?
Brother. Let's
go.
get on it.
Fish number one, smallie.
There's a lot of them. That's a good sign, though. A little bit better one.
There you go. What kind of fish you got there, Lee?
Smallmouth. Sometimes they're that little, I just grab the hook.
That was what we were expecting, smallmouth bass, so it's a way to get started.
No doubt.
I'll tell you what, the Green River always seems to have such good water quality.
It's one of the most diverse rivers in the world.
The crazy thing is that we had a ton of rain and they released the lake. It was blown out 3 days ago, and you come back down and you can see the bottom.
The water quality in here is off the charts.
Dang it.
Chad might be hung. Got one. Oh, that's a big, fat rock bass. Look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty good one. Look how he's barred up because he was down in that log, camouflaging himself. Some people call these goggle eye, other people call them red eye. They're good eating. There he is. Oh, it's a nice one.
That's a nice fish.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I brought an ultralight and you brought a ultralight. Of course, I got a bait caster here, but that's the reason you creek fish with light tackle.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun.
It is. All right, a little bit better fish.
That's a nice one there now.
Well, we're gonna get her back in, brother. We got more than this coming, we hope.
Well, I am hung again. You're throwing a Ned rig too, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, how come I'm hung up on every cast and you're not?
I'm using a different style head. You're rigging it traditional Ned rig with the hook exposed, correct?
I am, yeah. And I tell you what, there's too much brush in here for that. So I've been getting hung up every single cast. And this is typical when you're dealing with a river system. It's got wood all over it. Well, Lee is using a different style of hook that is designed to be fished weedless. Unfortunately, I don't have any of those. So I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do to combat that. It's called a nail. It's weight. And I do have some 1/0 hooks. So I'm gonna take this little nail and this bait, and I'm gonna push this down in there. And that's gonna give me just about the amount of weight that I need. Now, I'm gonna take my normal little 1/0 hook here. I'm gonna rig this up just in your normal Texas rig format. It's about the exact same amount of weight. It is weedless, but that hook will quickly become exposed if I get a bite. All right, here we go. You know, the great thing about throwing a Ned rig is that fish this size will hit it. But I'm telling you what, I have seen more 5 and 6 pound smallmouth, maybe not in a creek or a river, but more 5 and 6 pound smallmouth caught on a Ned rig.
It's insane.
With a real subtle presentation. It can be absolutely deadly. Look at there.
Hey,
you know,
catch those all day.
We figured out what these fish were hitting. It was just all about getting the right presentation to them.
Yes.
I mean, if you can have the greatest bait in the world, but every time you cast, you're hung up, it's not gonna happen. So sometimes you just gotta bring the right tools to make sure that you're versatile. Find you a secret honey hole?
I remember this one from last time, and just downstream of this, Chad, is really good too. Hi, little dude. Be happy.
Oh, there he is. Oh, it's a good one. Man, I tell you what, that's all about maximizing your water, man. We came through here and saw that shoal, and we knew there was a good chance with this deep pocket of water in this cover, there could be a decent fish, and this is a pretty good creek fish right here.
Beauty, Chad. Fish of the day for sure. Little one, Chad, nothing like yours, but any fish is a good fish, just some are a lot better than others. Chad, a dragonfly just landed on my rod. My grandmother used to say that was good luck. If a dragonfly landed on your rod, you were gonna catch a fish. Did you ever heard that story?
No, but that sounds like a great thing to tell a young kid if you want them to sit still and pay attention to the rod.
Huh, I never thought about that. Guess that was a good way for Mama to say, Lee, sit down, shut up, pay attention to what you're doing. Huh.
I'm gonna use that on my kids.
I bet that's what she was doing, you know?
I guarantee it. That's a spot to catch a fish if I ever seen one. Told you it was a spot to catch a fish. I don't believe you own that rock all your own. There's probably another bigger one in there.
There he is, right by the boat.
Oh, there you go.
I was thinking about changing. Well, that's over. I entertained that for 2 seconds. All right, fun little smallmouth there. Fat. Look at that belly. Dinner time for him. Yep, that's what I thought, long-eared sunfish. They're pretty. I'll take that one.
Nice job.
That's my best fish of the day, I believe.
Now, Lee, you've been writing for Kentucky Field Magazine for quite some time, huh?
For 20 years. Can't believe they haven't fired me yet.
Not only with the magazine, you're also co-hosting the Kentucky Field podcast.
Yes, Chase Winninger and I do it. We have a great time. We'll bring guests on from the department. We'll bring biologists on. We'll talk about issues. We'll talk about non-game species, upcoming hunting seasons, fishing opportunities, what we did over the weekend. We cover the gamut.
But this is really your passion. The Blue Water Trails is something that you've been focusing on. I'm looking forward to reading the next one. And even more than that, I'm looking forward to getting out and fishing the next one with you.
All right, that sounds fantastic.
Now let's check in and see who else has been out having fun in this week's Ones That Didn't Get Away. Here's an impressive catch by Nicholas Morgan. He caught this 31-inch striper while fishing with his grandpa on Cumberland River. Nice job. Here we have Matthew Lunsford with his very first fish ever, a nice bass that was caught while fishing in his Papa and Nana's farm pond in Adair County. Here we have 3-year-old Denton Williams with his first fish, a nice bluegill that he caught in Boone County. Check out this beautiful 39-pound sturgeon that was caught by Irene Badgett. She was fishing at Wolf Creek Dam with friends of ours, guides Willie and Aaron Capshaw. Check out this super impressive largemouth bass that was caught by Lenny Miller. This fish weighed over 9.5 pounds and was caught at Grants Branch Lake. Nice job. Check out this smile on 3-year-old Charlotte Monroe. She is holding her very first fish ever that was caught at her grandpa's farm pond in Madison, Indiana. Nice job. Kentucky's modern firearm season for deer is right around the corner. Now is the time to hit the range and sight in those rifles. And remember, hunting and fishing on private property is a privilege. Always ask permission and thank the landowner. Until next week, I'm your host, Chad Miles, and I hope to see you in the woods or on the water.